Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop in. And I'm quite a fortunate Rabbi from another planet. Firstly, completely aside, I think Daisy, my little doggy, is house trained. I think we got a house trained. She went a whole day without peeing or pooing in the house. We spent a long time crate training her, and I think it's paid off. So I am a quite happy Rabbi. What's making me even happier is I've been reading reviews of Doctor Who Time Fracture, which is a bit meh. It's a bit meh. We're going to be actually going into it in quite a bit more detail. But they do have cast members dress up as like Earthstat's doctors, which I don't think works at all. I really don't think works at all. But then here's the confusing thing about Time Fracture. It's got an incredible attention to detail of like the most minute Doctor Who Apocrypha set in the midst, I would say, a little bit of incompetence and complete cluelessness about Doctor Who as well. So it's really weird. It's really, really weird. So the thing that really caught my eye was this. I'm going through the reviews. This is a video where we're going to do a roundup of reviews. But I think far more interesting was this picture they've released, which is over here. So this one here, the young, very, very happy-looking young lady in a Sylvester McCoy hat, Peter Davison sweater. It's kind of like when your mum wants to dress up as Doctor Who for a Halloween party, or Jodie Whittaker. it's kind of. I just had an insight. That's how they're making the current era. So, but it feels like that. And it feels just kind of like, oh, wrong and stupid, and people who don't know anything about Doctor Who making Doctor Who, and it really doesn't work. It really annoys me. But I looked at this and I thought, this looks familiar. This doesn't look completely out of out of the realm of something that hasn't appeared before. And I think I discovered it. It's this is from this month's Doctor Who magazine. They have a feature called Apocrypha. This was basically brought in this feature to justify the timeless children, saying there is no continuity, everything is mixed up. But this week's one focuses on this character, who I'm pretty sure that that person in Time Fracture is trying to be. Look, I mean, it does look like she's an amalgam of different Doctor Who-y stuff. So it does look like they're trying to do something pretty similar to this. So we're going to be looking at this article, finding out who the hell this is. I vaguely remember her, right? I vaguely remember this character when she first came out. What year would it be? Nemesis of the Daleks. Oh, so that's still the McCoy years. This is before 1990. But yeah, no, I do remember when she did. So we're going to be looking at the reviews of Time Fracture. We're going to be looking at this. It's so weird. It's like you have some things which are like just incredibly fanish, like incredibly fanish. And then you got stuff like like this. But generally speaking, it seems to be a bit of a confused mess. So before we get into it, can you hit the like button? That'd be really nice. I say this many times, but I do indeed like to be liked. I do indeed like that. Can you hit the share button? Fan-freaking-tastic! Could you hit the subscribe button? I'm actually kind of excited. I haven't looked at my subscriber count. I got obsessed. Oh no, you shouldn't do this. If you start a YouTube channel, you should not do this. And generally speaking, don't place your happiness on external factors. That's always a bad idea. Always a bad idea. Don't do that. So I did get obsessed with watching my subscriber count because it kept going up and down. I mean, like every time I get another 10 subscribers, YouTube goes, "Oh, gonna take off 10." Okay, fine. Okay, that's I guess how we roll nowadays. But okay, so if you subscribe, make sure you're still subscribed. Is basically the bottom line. What I'm trying to say, if you subscribe, make sure you're still subscribed. If you're not subscribed, if you can consider hitting the subscribe button, that is fantastic. Thank you very much. And of course, never forget to check out my Indiegogo. And I'm quite excited about this today. My Indiegogo is 2 graphic novels. We got this one, Biblical. Bible stories for atheists, creationists, rationalists, rogue. I wrote and drew this. It's it's a kind of like weird, grungy, spiritual story, right? If you like Swamp Thing, Hellblazer, Sandman, that sort of thing, in the same vein. And then we got this one, The Imperium, a love letter to telefans in the 1960s. This was 100 pages long. We're adding 5 pages in. I just got 2 pages today. Freaking awesome. Yeah, it's freaking awesome. I'm really, really digging it. So basically, this is a love letter to telefans that I think they said. So imagine James Bond, Doctor Who, Emma Peel, a monkey in a spacesuit, and a black slab from 2001. And the extra pages we have, the story is really contained within the Imperium building. You know, so which is kind of, like these big, beautiful halls of Whitehall, that sort of thing. But I wanted to pop it out and make it a bit bigger. So we have the Doctor Who character, sort of. It's a much more Boxer delight. So very thick, bushy bearded Patrick Troughton walking around London, and then noticing, he's a bit shaggy, so regenerates into his more Doctor Who-y form. That's kind of fun. And then goes to Soho Square to drop acid, which I think fits in very nicely, into Doctor Who in general. So there you go. If you ever want to see Patrick Troughton's Doctor Who drop acid, this is the campaign for you. And of course, do I need to mention he gets fantastic extras like this poster. Well, it's a pin-up now, it'll be a poster at $8,000. Yeah, all kinds of stuff. You've seen them before. Anyway, let's look at time fracture. Let's look at a bit of time fracture action. We'll start with the Financial Times. I really want to get a Normie's point of view, right? Because this is really designed. I don't know what it's designed for, right? I don't know what it is. Again, a real attention to detail, real strong attention to detail, in a bit of a incompetent and muddled story and script with lackluster actors. I mean, like actors who are. I mean, look, you may get somebody who's going to be a big actor at some point in this, but mostly they are significantly sub-Big Finish level actors, right? Significant. These are the people who go to London, they get jobs in like anything. They try and break in as actors, and it's something that most people fail, right? Most people fail, and I wish nothing but success to all of them, because it's like everybody puts absolutely everything on the line for it, and most people fail. Sadly, most people fail. This is the actors they have. They have the most people that fail. I'm sorry. Most people fail because there are a few people who are better and better looking. So that's just the way it is. And luck is freaking everything. But they just. This the cam footage I've seen has just been a bit like people standing around shouting, and way too much Jodie Whittaker. Jodie Whittaker is all the way through this thing, right? And if you're a Doctor Who fan, probably that's going to stop you going. And it's just the way it is. If you like this era of Doctor Who, that's great. Nothing against you, and I'm glad you enjoy it. We've always had people who like eras of Doctor Who and people who don't like eras of Doctor Who in fandom coexisting together. This is nothing new. I just really hate this era of Doctor Who. I do. I absolutely hate it. I think it's the antithesis of Doctor Who. But if you love it, that's great. But putting Jodie Whittaker all the way through this is a bad idea. And I think they know it's a bad idea, which is why she was completely off all the merchandising imagery whatsoever, which really annoys me. It really annoys me. It's this bait and switch thing where they go, we're going to give you real Doctor Who stuff, and then you get lots of Jodie Whittaker. And again, I understand she is the official Doctor Who. I would say a significant portion of Doctor Who fans will make it so they wouldn't want to go to it then. So anyway, let's read this first review. Then we'll look at this character they dug out from nowhere. Stayed at the immersive LDN in London. The event, based on the BBC series, whisks the audience through a journey through time and space. And it is sad because Doctor Who is such a great property to do this with. It just needed, I think. Somebody who understands the market, which is, if you're going to put Jodie, you know what? I don't want to say no Jodie, because that's not fair. That's not fair. There are people out there who like Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who. I think there should be something for everyone, right? I'm just saying, making her the focus was such a bad idea, especially as it's all in audio, I think, and from what I understand, they drafted in, was it Alex Kingston to be River Song to replace Captain Jack. Which is just like, why? Man, breaks my heart, because John Barrowman is just such an incredibly upbeat and positive guy. I really like John Barrowman, okay? I just do. I think he's a good person, all right? Yes, I understand. He got his dick out and waved it around. I think he was having a laugh. I don't think he was trying to upset. I think he was trying to make people happy, right? And I think that's the driving thing I pull out of John Barrowman. He's a showman. He likes to entertain people. He likes to make people smile. Sometimes it's with his penis, but you know. And listen, I have to tell you, if you're gay, I think he's pretty hot, right? Right? I think he could certainly make you smile with that penis if he got a bit sexual with it. But yeah, he's a good-looking chap. What can I tell you? But yeah, I just think that's what he just likes to make people happy. He really, really does. He's seems to be a very genuine and emotional person. I look, my heart was stolen by John Barrowman at the watch-alongs when we watched Journey's End together. That was great. I think that was probably the highest spot of 2020 in terms of fandom. We watched Journey's End together, and he was on Twitter putting out videos crying along with the rest of us. It's just lovely, absolutely lovely. So I'm really sad he got cancelled. Okay, there we go. Let's read. You never met me. You were never here before. Says one of the white-coated officials at the start of Doctor Who Time Fracture. While another one will suddenly that if you divulge anything, we will wipe your mind. All of which makes writing about it seem a perilous idea. But at the risk of being exterminated by Daleks, here goes. And most of everywhere has kept the flame burning for interactive wraparound theatre during the current crisis. The company's popular Great Gatsby returned for a while in last October, and this hugely ambitious new piece opens, dropping audiences in the middle of a frantic Doctor Who adventure based on a long-running sci-fi show written by Daniel Dingsdale, and from what I can tell, he wasn't up for it. He also does the voice of the 11th Doctor. I really think, you know what, cancel Gareth Roberts would have been fantastic for this. A Doctor Who writer, get a Doctor Who writer. Daniel Dingsdale. I don't go like Robert Holmes, Daniel Dingsdale. They're not in the same bracket, are they? He's not in the same bracket with Pitt and Jane Bloody Baker, and directed by Tom Mailer. And again, the cam footage I've seen seems a lot of people standing around being a bit shouty. And they do alternate roles. I've seen footage of there being a female Rassilon, and I've also heard there was a male Rassilon. So it's kind of like when you go to my experience with this is going to like Disney. I used to live in Florida, in Miami, so we had an annual pass to Disney, which apparently they stopped. They're not honoring them anymore, right? Which is a bit wild. Where you would have cast, they're called cast members, and they would interchange. I would kind of like I would like to kind of line up all like the same princess and see how they all look the same, but they're all different people. It's really bizarre. So same sort of thing. Screens. It's a smart response to a first for theatre, but also a desire to be active after you're staring at screens. But while it's designed and performed with flair, it's too chaotic, crowded, and confusing to hit the mark. Yes, this is the overwhelming vibe I get. We, the audience of volunteers, stepping through a bright, buzzing shopping alley behind London's Oxford Street into a gloomy cavernous space, formerly an Army Reserve Centre. That's funny. Reached via a forbidden cordon of military personnel and mesh wire gates covered in notices warning you to keep out. Our task to help UNIT, United Nations Intelligence Task Force. I thought it was the Unified Intelligence Task Force now. To close a rift in space and time, calls around a temporal disruptor and save the universe. En route, we'll zap round time period, meet aliens, drop it on Shakespeare, Leonardo da Vinci, fly to the planet Gallifrey, and encounter Daleks. Scary and weeping angels, terrifying. I heard the Daleks are kind of like pushed off to the side. I see it in the distance. That's kind of what how it's been described to me. And again, the cam footage I saw had a guy basically doing the same shtick as this person. And the Earth Doctors was a bad idea because it doesn't. Because we know who the Doctors are, it just doesn't work. It feels like a cheap knockoff. But I haven't seen it, so listen. If they turn around and say, "Hi, we're a we're a cult that lives on Gallifrey, and we really dig the Doctor, right? We follow the Doctor's thing, and then that would make sense. But still, it's all a bit your mum doing Doctor Who, isn't it? It looks spectacular. Rebecca Brown's beautifully designed, detailed designs whisk us from the control center or full of winking computer screens past abandoned. Yeah, the setup of it sounds really good. Abandoned offices, past abandoned offices and nooks full of Dataris into Elizabethan paneled rooms, or Leonardo da Vinci, Leonardo da Italian garret, and ultimately the futuristic assembly of the Gallifrey top brass. Various doctors from the series pop up on screen to wish as well, including the current Doctor, Jodie Whittaker. The show is licensed by BBC Studios, and fans of the TV series will find dozens of familiar props tucked in the set. Yeah, apparently they had access to just like all the, I think the table, or the Gallifreyan War Council table from was it the Day of the Doctor? Yeah, Day of the Doctor is a major set piece in it. Like I think they just plundered a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff from like the what was it, the Doctor's wife, the weird like planet when was it debris planet. While hardworking cast live around, and they are hardworking, splitting us into smaller missions, delivering instructions, and leading us through a vast labyrinth in space. Okay. But the storyline could badly do with the help of one of the Doctor's sonic screwdrivers. Yes, we're told over and over again we must save the universe and time is running out, yet the narrative feels muddled and the exact details of the plans get lost in the hyper-hectic atmosphere and the amount of noise. You see, this is the thing. You've got to... if I may give you an analogy. I write and draw comics. I say at the beginning, I write and draw comics. If you want there to be like some freedom and movement in your artwork, when you draw a comic, first you do it in pencil, and then you go over it in inks. And the inking is what like makes it solid. So if you want to like have a real flair to it, but you still need like the traditional drawing, apparatus, skills. Get your pencils really accurate, really accurate, really tight, really good, like 100%. And then when you do your inks, you can be like a lot freer. So it's like once you've got the technical details down, then you can add in all the bells and whistles, which they never got the technical details down. And it's in the script. Who was it? Philip Hinchcliffe says Doctor Who is the show that finds you out. Any fudging, just boom, comes right to the surface, and boy. I think we do all see that in the current era of Doctor Who. We're told over and over that time's running hyper, and there's a huge amount of noise. There's too much hanging around at the outset, with the cast shouting over sirens and loud music and the general air of confusion. Once we get moving, it's hard to get a handle on what exactly is going on. It seems to be, you've got to be a real Doctor Who fan to get it. Clarity, purpose, and a real sense of agency of participants all go missing. And more worryingly, so does the social distancing, with punters sometimes screaming past each other on walkways. Yeah, I forgot London is really into social distancing. Well, it's over for us. It's freaking weird as anything. No mask indoors, we have no social distancing. It's essentially over. Listen, we're a small country. I live in Israel, we're a small country. Everyone's vaccinated. And I understand people don't like being told to get vaccinated. I don't. It's like the Johnny Depp thing with, what's the name, Amber Heard. I don't really know anything about it. I don't know anything about it, but I know people are getting very uptight about it. Same thing, listen, it just seems we all just took the vaccine. Like the whole country just said, yeah, okay, fine, let's get back to life. I seem to, and this is not me telling you to take the vaccine, okay? I don't tell you to do anything other than hit the subscribe button, okay? But whatever you want to do. But it's all over here. There's like, boom, nothing. Which is really weird. It's really weird. Even once we get moving, hard to get a handle on what's going on. Clarity, purpose, and a sense of real agency for the participants all go missing. More worryingly, social distancing. All theatre is hard to do at present. Immersive theatre even more challenging. This show is apparently full of ideas. But to land safely, it needs to sort out the conflict, as it's two hearts between narrative and spectacle. Yeah. Spectacle, I think they got down really well. Narrative, not so much. So who is this character that they've brought up, they've resurrected? So here, it says over here, this is from a strip. I mean, this is how obscure this is. This is from a strip in Marvel, in the Marvel UK comic, The Incredible Hulk Presents. Yeah, this was, I think John Freeman edited both this and Doctor Who magazine, so there's a lot of like cross-pollination. Simon Furman wrote it. Oh, look at that! I said before 1990, 2nd of December 1989. Ha ha! Yes, baby. Service Doctor traveling alone. Why does it matter? It gives us a glimpse of what a female doctor would be like. How do I find it? It's in this Nemesis of the Daleks. So let's have a quick read about it. Yeah, so she turns. Was it delegates over the gather over at Orkle for a peace conference? The Frivolian Prince Ludge. God, you know, Rusty Davis was really strict about not having all these like alien names because they're just a pain in the. I'm saying it now. It's a pain in the ass. So Captain Jack was originally supposed to be called Captain Jax, Jax, but he felt like it's just too science fictiony. The Frovian Prince Luge looks forward to a drink with the Doctor, attending on the behalf of the Time Lords, but when the Doctor steps outside, it appears she has changed. Towards the end of 89, the Doctor's adventures could be followed on screen, season 26, and for the first time in 2 ongoing strips, the Doctor Who magazine and in The Incredible Hulk, which reprinted a bunch of stuff. These strips also found the Doctor traveling solo, as he was in Doctor Who magazine. But who's that girl? Note the exclamation mark. Introduces an old friend of his, Prince Ludge, a beardy, sword-wearing, gruff and noble barbarian type who knows about regeneration. Okay, yeah, that's him over here, right? So, and out she steps. So yeah, well, honestly, okay, the story goes on. Turns out she's not really the Doctor. She's kidnapped the Doctor and is impersonating her. But it just seems that's a bit obscure, right? And this looks like exactly that. That somebody must have known something, or maybe they just had that much Doctor Who magazine. But somebody must have known something, right? So okay, fine. So let's look at another review, and it's not good. It's not good. The Evening Standard, Doctor Who Time Fracture, an immersive Time Fracture immersive London review. Mostly a waste of time and space. That doesn't sound. Again, I'm glad to get the normie approach. Okay. The immersive production of is a logistical triumph, but at the expense of narrative and horror. There's only one Dalek. It's insane. And I have to tell you, it's not this is not the first Doctor Who interactive thing that's been around. I went to the Doctor Who experience. That was a 15-20 minute adventure. And that was fantastic. I mean, again, the logistics of that were just breathtaking. We being on board the Dalek spaceship. It was just really good. It was really, really good. I really liked it. And then you had that incredible exhibition afterwards. As former Doctor Who... see, this guy is a Doctor Who fan, right? So, and he says former Doctor Who nerd. Probably not so much anymore because of the current era. That's just my guess. Who's right? Nick Curtis, right? As a former Doctor Who nerd, it pays me to report that the participation trawl through Time Lord's universe is mostly a waste of time and space. Time Fracture is made with love and respect for the BBC series that became a phenomenon. It's well designed with 42 actors interacting with the audience members in multiple rooms. It's a logistical triumph. But like so much so-called immersive theatre, it treats spectators like cattle and proves a terrible vehicle for narrative. Plus, there's only one Dalek which bumps into the scenery for a 30-second swizz. Yeah, that was a mistake. That is a mistake. The plot, such it is, concerns the temporal blah, blah, blah. We're not going to read this again. The audience volunteered, nominated by the Doctor. Various incarnations drop in periodically on a screen by voiceover to explore or mend the breach, where heroes without agency, though, herded around and blathered at by excessively dressed Time Lord guys until the next set piece is ready for us. Yeah. Oh boy, it does sound like the vignettes draw on various parts of Doctor Who's 58-year history with an understandable preference for storylines following the 2005 reboot. Not reboot, baby, not reboot. Look at my Doctor Who 1996 videos. That would have been a reboot, a revival. So you meet Queen Elizabeth I. Leonardo da Vinci gets. Has Leonardo da Vinci been in Doctor Who? I can't remember one. I know Shakespeare has. I know Elizabeth I. Leonardo da Vinci, who seems ripe to be in Doctor Who. Leonardo da Vinci was in Star Trek Voyager via the holodeck, played by what's his name from Lord of the Rings, Gimli. Also played Indiana Jones' Arabic friend. Come Indy, that one. Yeah, who's got a great story on the DVDs. Where it talks about making. What was it? The first one, Raid of the Lost Ark, where they all had dysentery on set. and basically, he was they said cut, and he couldn't hold himself in. He squatted down, and he soiled his. I can't remember what the robe is he wore, but it's like, and I didn't care. Is what he said. It's that Blu-ray set is really good. The Indiana Jones one. I gotta give the fourth one a rewatch, because it's much maligned. I've only ever seen it once or twice, and they're making a fifth one. Why? Don't do that. Get serenaded by alien chantuses on a spaceship to Gallifrey, and see Rassilon, the father of time, was resuscitated. Cybermen invade Tudor England, and the most arresting speed of the speak is onslaught by the Weeping Angels in a dark corridor. Ding gets progressively more vague about these story elements hanging together. It seems to me he's not a writer to me, this guy. I mean, maybe, I don't know who it is, but we keep seeing the same thing over and over again. Although there's a lot of hanging about production company, immersive everywhere, fully exploit the sprawling space. I mean, this is it's never gonna go. You can book it through to 2022. I think June 2022. Good luck. If you book that far out. I will say, hopefully they'll just take your money on the day. Arcane Corridors and former Drill Hall. Rebecca Bowles' production. It's amazing they have such a big space in the middle of central London, right? Rebecca Bowles' production design is inventive. Also on some TV shows, reputations for shonky sets. Likewise, director Tom Mailer instills the right tone of hectic, anxious jollity in his cast, and there are many costume changes, which are accomplished with aplomb. I really don't want to exterminate something so ambitious and complicated, employing so many people in an intriguing London space that's open under COVID, but still, it's a scrappy piece that patronizes the audience and has more in common with a London dungeon villain than a genuinely pioneering work of immersive theater companies like Punch Drunk. I'm gonna Google Punch Drunk, see what they do after that. Hardcore Doctor Whovians will find it skimpy. Non-Whovians will be mystified. Aha! For hardcore Doctor Whovians will find it skimpy. Non-Whovians will be mystified. I might guess. I guess it might satisfy Hugh Curious families who have for something different and to live after months of staring at screens, but it won't save the universe, will it? I do not think it will save the show. Booking to April 2022. So if that April extends to May, I will be surprised. Who should we go for next? Have a quick look at The Guardian, right? The Guardian gives it 3 out of 4. And so listen. Doctor Who is made for the Guardian reader. I think 50. So somebody told me. Well, I'm not sure I got this stat right. 50% of the Guardian's readership is the BBC. That's a pretty small amount, right? But okay. Or could it be 50% of the BBC read the Guardian? That makes more sense. But I think 100% of the BBC are Guardian readers. The Doctor Who time fracture. I mean, if it's the potential of the BBC that's Guardian readers, it's got to be 80%, right? So it sounds like 50% of their circulation goes to the BBC. This immersive show makes up for its disarray with a visceral thrill of moving among the familiar and stunningly realized aliens. So I'm going to guess she really likes Jodie Whittaker, right? I think she really likes Jodie Whittaker. Would be my guess. Let's have a scan. See if we can. I can't read another one. This is what we're going to do. We'll do this thing. Edit. Find on page 13. Lucky 13. No, so current. No. Jodie. No. Okay. So there's no mention of her in this review. How long is it? Let's have a quick look through it. Oh, it's not long. It's like 4 paragraphs. No, more than that. Taking place in the building, blah, 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 inside rehearsal. But it feels like we walked in halfway through the cast are immensely hardworking, but it feels like we walked in halfway through rehearsals. That's the cam footage I saw as well. So it's kind of like standing around shouting. A time fracture from a future explosion has caused the rip in the fabric of the universe, throwing space and time on kilter. We're wandering through this essentially picking up with the Doctor caught up elsewhere. She has recommended her best ages. There you go. So I think that's why it's getting an extra star. She likes the current. She likes the current era, right? She likes the current era. I'm sitting on a spaceship when an Ood appears, asking if I've seen his blind date. His face is stunning. His tentacles are squishy and well. Off to the side there's a lizard woman from the dawn of time. This sounds like a Siluran. Her scales glistening as she serenades us. Wow, it's gay. All the bump sounds great. All the bump sounds fantastic. Way too much Jodie in it, I think. And it's just, the script isn't good enough. Is that synonymous with saying way too much Jodie? Bad script, way too much Jodie? I think it is. In an alien market with adverts for Pete Tyler pasted on the walls and names of companies scratched into bar tables, a pig man starts a fight while on a few corridors down lurks a weeping angel, grey hands covering its stony eyes. Weeping angel, I think, is because I think everybody likes the best. The Easter egg pack show directed by Tom Miller, part of Secret Cinema's creative team, brimming full idea. So it looks like they hired the right people, but in spite of this disarray, it's something of an enormously special when moving amongst the same aliens you grown up hiding behind the sofa. The actors make it feel so alive as we duck under the fireplace to take a breather. The power cuts out. There are screams and shouts to get down. A familiar stomp and clank of metal rings around the room. A silver arm raised. A body falls to the floor. I feel a hand. I feel a hand grab mine. Run! I don't think it's that good. And here's the last review we're going to look at. London. What's this from? BritishTheatre.com. Another 3-star review. 40 Days review time fracture. Okay. How long is this one? Okay, this is short. We can get through this one. I can't imagine anyone's going to see the show who isn't a fan of Doctor Who, or indeed anyone reading the review. You're right, mate. You're right. Okay, you nailed it. I love the show, and whilst I'm not strictly a full Whovian, I would class myself as a Hoover. And most of every are to be congratulated. So this guy is kind of like Doctor Who. He likes it when it's on. He doesn't really pay attention to it. I guess he hasn't seen the current era, but he probably thinks anybody who doesn't like it are evil deplorables. Okay, that's my guess based on his probable prejudices, which is based on my prejudices on him, right? Brilliant design, Barek about. Yeah, we said that. Unit cool in the 1940s and anomaly time, blah, 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 blah. Daniel Dingsdale script, that is, like the recent series, the problem with the Daniel Dingsdale script is that, like the recent series, it's 2 hours special within a cracking 45-minute story is battling to be heard. So there you go. That's a pretty good idea. Fine. So yeah, it looks like he saw the Revolution of the Daleks, which didn't look bad to a normie anyway. And so yeah, Dr. Curious thing. That's the person they wanted to catch with that one. The main problem I had with the acoustics and the sounds is it's a very loud show with various characters shouting at sections and the audience and at the audience at the same time. It's a good half hour before the audience actually cross the time fracture that leads and the guys lead us through different worlds. It's an annoyingly loud show and being 6'7" and a good foot taller than many of the cast, there's no chance of me there's no chance of me giving away what is I just couldn't hear anything. I'm sure we were told to look out for a thermometer from those naughty National Socialists in the 1930s from Germany. But can that be right? I still have I didn't say the name, the Yahtzee, okay? Because if you say that one, I get in trouble. I still haven't found it anyway. Another point, the guide wanted me to crawl through a fireplace. I'm sorry, my dear, I'm not a hobbit. This show is an assault on the senses, and I could do with some calming down. Yeah, okay, this sounds like not for me. Okay? Not for me. I don't want to crawl through sodding fireplaces. I'm an old guy. Leave me alone. However, there are many positives, not least a terrific cast of companions and guys fizzing with energy. They do all have energy, right? They do all have energy, and they're excited to have a job, and they're giving it their all. They're just, at best, they're going to be mostly people aspire to being in like a Geico commercial, and totally committed to the story they are telling. It was a thrilling come face with Davros, excellent Angus Brown, and the Weeping Angels are truly terrifying. I think the consensus is the Weeping Angels aren't bad, right? There are Daleks, well, apparently a Dalek and Cybermen, but these are fleeting moments, and the show needs more of them. When we finally arrive at Gallery after a very long interval in the Galactic Bar, okay, the Time Lords, of course, have to have a look. Very long heated debate in a room lacking air conditioning. Oi! Instead of pushing a button and bringing the show to close, at times the show has a stately but plodding pace of Doctor One, and it needs the exuberant energy of 11. Okay. In saying that, there's a huge amount for fans to enjoy, including Easter eggs to find. I was proud to spot fish fingers and custard. All regenerations of the Doctor make an appearance, and families will have fun. Although the Weeping Angels may be too scary for younger viewers. With all that going on in the world, it's a delight to forget about the universe and immerse yourself in others. A triumph for time and space. Okay, so honestly, I think the consensus is this: confused story, a bit shouty, way too much Jodie for Doctor Who fans. So, and I just don't see it making it. I don't see Doctor Who being popular enough to make it. But there you go. If you want to know what time fracture is, it's again a bizarre attention to detail with this wacky apocrypha. This wacky apocrypha coming to life over here. But with a lackluster story, chock full of Jodie Whittaker. I will still say, if you got an extra 50 quid in your pocket and you live in London, go check it out. It's not going to be around forever. If it's around till April 2022, I'll be surprised. My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe. And ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.